that says we're live? Okay. Do you see the little?
It says I'm in the show.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So,
Awesome. Hey, everybody.
hey, welcome, welcome. Happy day.
Oh, I'm
I've
excited to
got,
be here.
yeah. So I've got Sarah Longworth Cohen in the house.
Yup.
She's joining us today. Super, super fun. She is our guest artist for today. It's always fun to get online and to have some FaceTime with folks, but it's even more fun when I get to bring my friends on. So happy you're here, Sarah.
Well, thank you, Heather. I'm excited to be here. And I would say, you're one of my highly creative friends. So I love hanging with you because I know you always surprise me. And I am not really prepared. I'm ready to just go with the flow and respond and create. So
That's
it's all yours,
awesome.
girl.
That's what we're doing today. So
Awesome.
for those of you watching, hello. Let us know you're here. Say hi in the comments. And Sarah's so much fun because we can get together and paint and have a good time no matter what we're painting. And today I sent her a little something in the mail, and she hasn't opened it yet, so she doesn't know what's inside. So the deal is, whatever's inside, we're going to play with it today and use it in our painting in whatever way we
Awesome.
feel drawn to use it. So, Sarah, you've been really good because the other two artists I've had on so far, they got a little antsy and they opened it up or just wasn't thinking of whatever and just kind of opened it up. And so you are going to be completely surprised today. So
I will be. And, it doesn't mean my art will turn out fabulous. It just means that the process is going to be really fresh and you're going to see me. I wouldn't have had the incubation period like your friends had, where it can kind of turn over in your mind and you put it away and it might solve itself. So you're going to see me react to whatever is in here and probably try and integrate it into some things I already know, I'm guessing, or do maybe my tangling or some watercolor, whatever I want.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So the idea is to pull out a few of your favorite supplies. If that's watercolor today, grab that. If it's acrylic paints, whatever you want. And yeah, and we'll just play and we'll chat for a little bit and hang out.
Awesome. Sounds
And we'll
wonderful.
cool. And we'll chat with people that are watching. So Nancy from Connecticut's tuning in.
Hey,
And that's my
Nancy.
mom.
Awesome. Well, and we'll probably get a lot on the hashtag replay later too. So make
Yeah.
sure that you let us know if you're on the replay later.
Yeah, totally, totally. So do you want to open up what's
Sure,
in
but
your?
I want to ask how the beautiful weather in Colorado is first. Tell me about your
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah, today has been gorgeous. I mean, we've had a lot of really great weather with snow and we've gotten some, rain, which we've needed. It's Southwest
Right?
Colorado, so it's dry out here. And so we take whatever we can get. And so any moisture is good. And but lately we've had some snow and just been enjoying that. And today it's nice and sunny, snowy on
Yes, the
the.
sun is out today here too. Oh,
Nice.
it looks like it started snowing again. We are coming out of a deep freeze. We were, let's see, 30 below on Sunday, 28.9 or something, our thermostat said, minus. So it was pretty cold. And then by Tuesday, it was 25 below in the morning. That was our first day back to school, hybrid. Our kids all came back from, I'm an art teacher full time at a middle school, which I love. And now it looks like our governor is getting us excited to go back full. So I'm really excited to be with my students in our art studio full time. It's hard to give them all the attention they need when some of them are at home simultaneous with some there. So I'm pretty excited about that. And it was above zero today. So that was awesome too. But now that you got my weather scoop too, let's get on to the good stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds
she's
good.
got a, and it does say wait to open. Way too open. So I'm kind of one of those rule follower people too. So I'm gonna, okay. Ooh, it's something folded up. I don't see a flash of color yet. Oh, there's a stencil in there. Awesome. I can't wait to see what you create with this stencil. Oh my goodness, my kind of stencil. We're big travelers and hikers and we love the outdoors, just like Heather. So this is exactly something that I would love with the arrows. My business is Art Ventures Minnesota. And so I
Right?
use arrows kind of in my logo. This is amazing. I'm excited. I will
Awesome.
say I have not stenciled anything in words this size for ages. You know, I'm usually doing the big signs, so this is going to be fun. I have to
Cool.
show your viewers this. I had to
Yeah.
buy these about a week and a half ago. They were their bulbs being forced and they just opened up last night and it was perfect timing. Anyway, so they're sitting right by me inspiring me too.
Those are gorgeous. That's awesome.
Yes, so now I need to figure out what to do here. What are you working on?
So, well, first I just want to welcome Nancy Grace here. She said, just stumbled across you. So happy. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Yay,
Welcome,
Nancy.
Nancy.
And Nancy from Connecticut says it's snowing here. So, got some
Oh,
crazy weather going on all across the country.
all right. So I am trying to figure out. I was doing some wet on wet last week with watercolor, testing out my new watercolors on canvas, by the way. If you've never tried it, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I
And
haven't.
I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if this could. So I've got to just go through the process a minute. Are you working
Yeah.
on something too?
So I just pulled out my mixed media pad
Yeah.
and got a couple of paintbrushes. Just to make it easy, I pulled out a couple of acrylic paint colors to play with. And like you, I mean, I've had this stencil, so I knew we were using a stencil, but I really didn't think beyond that. So I'm just going to start playing and see where it takes me and how I can use it too. I love,
I
yeah.
think I'm going to work on a wood tag.
Oh, neat.
I
Yeah.
think that'll kind of, and then I can use my acrylic paints. And I've kind of got a scattering of everything here. Unlike you, you have your own studio, right? In your home.
I do. I've got a little, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using our dining room, which is great
Yeah.
because my husband and I, we have kind of a kitchen den and we have a counter in there and we eat at that a lot. But I had to clean off the dining room table about 2 weeks ago for our dinner. And my things are back moved on it in a mess and it isn't organized. I've slowly been bringing things in as I need them. So you're going to see me hop up and go to the end of the table for a minute
Yeah, sure.
to get my
Yeah.
paint. But I love being up here. I do have a room downstairs that is really like a wood shop and I can prep big pieces of wood. But there's just tiny windows in there. And I have huge windows here on both sides. And I love being
Nice.
where the world is and where the light is. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
works well.
That's nice. Yeah, that's one thing I'm missing is a window, and I think I might bust through my wall over here and put one in at some point because I would like some better light in here. But it is nice to have your own space. But I always tell people use what you have, right? So
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's the dining room table, use the dining room table and set up shop there. Little space in any room you have works.
And thank goodness my husband isn't Mr. Picky. He doesn't mind. I mean, we have plenty of room in there and we just leave this out. And then if something comes up, I haul it all into our bedroom. Okay.
Yep.
And then it's there for a few days. I am going to show you a technique that I had forgotten about that I used to do on furniture. Could I share it with you?
Yeah.
I'll
First, I just want to mention really quick.
Yeah.
I got another stencil that I want to give away to somebody today.
Oh, fun.
So when you are watching and you comment and let me know you're here, I'll put your name into my little jar here and pick from this to send somebody this stencil. And so if you've watched before, if your name is already in here, that's okay. Like I just keep adding to it every time you watch and let me know you're here. I'll put your name in the jar. It just means more chances to win. So and get some happy mail. So I've got this stencil to send out later. I'll pop back in tomorrow and unveil that winner in our Facebook group tomorrow. So just want to let folks know about that. So yeah, what do you have for me? You got a new technique.
I am thinking, and it's a technique, and I used to call it smooshing when I did furniture. I used to
Yeah.
paint furniture, not to sell to anybody, but just some girlfriends and I, when, we were young and we were trying to get some furniture into our house, and we were all big into upcycling. So we'd find old pieces and then
Yeah.
we would upcycle them. And one of the really cool techniques was this smooshing. And some of you may be familiar with it. I saw another artist do it a week ago and I had totally forgotten about it. And she did it on a canvas.
Okay.
So you need a plastic bag for it or saran wrap.
Okay.
So that is kind of the element that moves the paint around for you.
All right.
And then you can either paint or you can squish a little paint out. So I need to think about my color scheme on this. Do I want to go with kind of earthy tones, or do I want to just do, so I'm just thinking here now how I want, because I have to think of the layer of stenciling I'm putting on top too. Usually I think in terms of light background, dark on top, or vice versa, or warm versus cool, so things will pop and show up. So I'm looking here to see what I have. I love neutral colors. It's crazy, but I really love neutrals. And then you push it, like I love this khaki color. I might go with these neutrals and then just push it with a little bit of turquoise or something like that to just give that little tip of color. So let me grab those first here. Hopefully they're here. Yeah, I've got a khaki and a little, we'll see how it works.
Okay. Sarah, I've got some bubble wrap, but it's got like a flat side. Do you think that would work okay?
Yeah, if you've got a flat side. So what
Instead
I'm
of saran?
doing, let me lower you down so you can see. I am squeezing just a little bit of paint onto this Ziploc baggie. It's
Okay.
one of those little snack baggies, and I just snapped the two ends and opened it out. So I'm going to
Okay.
put that on there, this khaki. I think, let me see what else. Oh, I might do just a little bit of gray. I'm going to do a little bit of gray. It's kind of a cool color, but ooh, that kind of came out fast. I might have to lift some of that off. A little bit of gray, a little bit of khaki, a little bit of buttermilk. I like to push neutrals and then add a little pop of color with them. I don't know. It's kind of my house palette. I have not a lot of color except with pillows and things, accents, because I just feel like maybe it's because of all the paintings and art hanging out. I let that kind of be the main. And being at school all day, I'm seeing bright colors everywhere in our art studio with kids' art. So I feel when I come home, I just like the kind of low-key neutral. And I tie that in a lot to what I'm working on. Okay, and I did want to put a little bit of khaki in there, or excuse me, of turquoise. Sea breeze might be a little much, but no, I'm going to go with this blue, this desert blue. I'm going to use this. I'm thinking kind of traveling, the earth, the planet, map colors maybe. I don't know. I'm just playing around. Who knows what it'll look like. And the thing is, it can look like a mess. So here's one that I did the other day with it.
Cool.
And so it kind of has a mind of its own, and you have to be brave. And when you're doing it on something like this, it's fairly easy to be brave. So I'm going to take this, and I usually go over it again a second time, just to integrate things together a little bit. Kind of the more layering, the more things will fit. So I'm just going to lay this down right on top of here, and things are kind of spread out. I didn't do that intentionally, but then it's kind of like finger painting, but your fingers don't get full of it. See what I'm doing? Now, these are going to be little dots to begin with, these splats, but I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to lay it all over and keep layering it. And the great thing is you have all this paint on here still. And so you just start printing it and moving it around, and you will start to get some fun mixtures happening.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Isn't it fun?
Yes.
And I would never get this with my brush. If I'm with a brush, I'm usually just a little more particular about what I'm doing. So this is kind of
Yeah.
fun because it makes you loosen up,
This is so fun.
isn't it? So here's what I ended up with. I might need to put a little light in there, but I kind
Yeah.
of like it. How's yours
Yeah.
looking?
That's awesome. It's like cotton candy.
Oh, fun.
I got cotton candy
Yes.
colors and just like smushing it around. It's like,
Yeah. So then you can, if you can keep it in those shapes, or you can start rotating this, Heather, and
okay.
then just pressing it, and it'll kind of marbleize them a little bit, slide them
Yeah.
together. I think it's fun. I don't know. It's a fun way to play with the color scheme and just see how it works together.
Totally.
So I'm probably going to have to blow dry this if I'm going to be able to stencil on it. I'm thinking I may have to go grab my blow dryer, but I want to turn on my, I need to bring your page up so that I can, wait, are we in your private group?
We're both. We're on our Facebook page and in our group.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to bring it up here. And then I'm going to run and grab my blow dryer and dry
Okay.
it quick. And I will then be able to do some fun stenciling. Okay, the painted playground. How are you liking StreamYard?
It's working out well. Like I was having the sound quality is coming out better for people watching, and I think the color is working
great.
better. So yeah.
So you can, I can see me now over here. That's great. And I can see
Okay.
you. So that really helps. So I'm going to go grab my blow dryer. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
So you
I'm gonna
just
keep
carry on with your
smushing.
cotton candy. Don't eat it all while I'm gone.
I can't make any promises. Me and cotton candy. Oh, Paul John says, I hope you're okay, Grapevine. Texas is still out of power. Yikes. Yeah, I heard Texas was getting some crazy weather and a lot of power outages. Thinking about everybody out there. Hoping everyone's staying safe and staying warm and staying inside. I'm going to add some more paint. Get some more smush action going on here. Cover up my canvas a little bit more. And I liked Sarah's idea of using that neutral. So I don't have a lot of neutrals in my color palette, but I'm going to go ahead and mix a lighter brown up. I've got an umber. Just going to mix them with white and add it in. We'll see what happens. I smush that around. Play with that a little bit. All right, here we go.
Hopefully this won't pick up a lot. I have the earplugs out and the mic away. So otherwise you may have to turn it down.
Okay. You can see how that's really starting to blend, smush around. It's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna blow dry real quick too, since you're gone.
So while I was in the other room, I grabbed some copper because I think that might look nice popping out. Just because I already have this darker kind of turquoise, dark desert blue in there. I just don't know if I have enough copper. So if I have to resort to gold, I will, but I prefer the copper on here. I like more that kind of rustic looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, should I just put the 4 directions on here? Maybe the simplicity of just the arrow going north is kind of cool too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yes. And then, of course, I'll have to finish the sides, and I can always do another one on the back. So, oh, this is fun. I love this challenge. This is playing exactly what I love to do. Not have a preconceived idea and just sit down and let your brain go.
Mm-hmm. Especially after a big day at school.
Yeah, it was a big day. It was a good day, but it was big. We're working on self-portraits.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's fun, but we were having some struggles with our my projection screen kept dropping, and I was doing a live tutorial with what I was sketching in my sketchbook so the kids at home could see it. I had my tablet facing down, and then the kids at school would see it on the projection screen, and it kept dropping. Hey, you two, you're going to have to wait. Dogs are over by me. Go lay down. You're okay. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but I don't know. Do I want just... I mean, we live in the north. Minnesota is kind of considered the north in the U.S., so I love that too. Oh, there's street signs or travel signs too, road trip signs, the highway sign and the like the old interstate sign.
Yep. So you can make a
Fun.
speed limit sign or, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So so there's a couple things I could do. So I'm just talking through this with you. So if I kind of go asymmetrical and offset the arrow, let's see, I'm going the opposite here. I could do the directions just listed down here, which would be kind of cool, even though this does say north. It'd be kind of fun to see how those words would pick up on there.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to do the north first.
Cool.
And go from there. And the colors do kind of remind me of a map. So that worked out good.
I'm kind of playing around with just making
cotton candy.
Cotton candy and a big circle just to make a compass. I love compasses.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Kimberly. Kimberly's watching from Venice Beach, California.
Oh, fun. How's your weather there, Kimberly? I don't think I can see comments. Can only you see comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Are you downhill skiers or cross country or both, Heather?
We are cross country.
Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter was on the cross country team in, let's see, junior high, and I think 1 year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in a Scandinavian community called Mora, Mora, and they have one of the big circuit races there, the Vasaloppet. I don't know
Fun.
if you've heard of it, but it's so everybody in Mora, all of us kids, I mean, we all had skis and we'd ski to school in the morning sometimes and home. It's a big kind of fun culture of that area of a little town.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I love it. I love it. La 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 la
Ah, that came out
la.
great.
Isn't that
Yeah.
pretty?
Yeah, that really popped on there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to decide, do I want to do I don't think I want to just leave it. I think I'm going to put the words just listed right down. Unless I go around and write them on the side they're on. That might be cool. I'm going to rotate them going in the direction of the side.
Mm-hmm. Kimberly says we can feel the chills here too. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's cold everywhere.
yeah, poor Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't usually I try to usually use put my focal point somewhere other than the direct center, but I ended
Yeah,
up putting it in the direct center of this one. But
that's
that's okay.
okay.
We're just playing today. I'm just seeing how these stencils work and just
Well,
have
and sometimes when my students do that at school, especially if they do it on paper, that can be adjusted later too. Like you can crop it
yeah.
later if you want it off center. Or I show them how to make a kind of like a frame. They fold a piece of construction paper in half the same size as the paper they're working on, and they cut out a big rectangle so they have a border, and then they can test out different sizes of those to crop and see how they could change it up. So
Yeah.
starting in the middle isn't always bad if you're okay with, getting rid of part of it if you like a different layout when you start playing
Yep.
around with the composition.
Yep. I always like to I do a lot of things in my sketchbook just to play, but you can always take something from your sketchbook and reuse it in something else. So you could cut out something that you really liked and use it as a collage piece,
Right?
something else as
That
well.
is fun.
You
Oh
don't
my
always have
gosh.
to be worried.
The N for North fits exactly between the tag drilled hole and the top. So it's like perfect.
Nice.
I mean,
I like-
literally, if I couldn't have had a bigger font, it's the perfect size.
Nancy says rules are meant to be broken once understood. I like
Right?
this. Mm-hmm.
So there's my North.
Oh,
And
yeah,
see what I
yeah.
mean? How it fits perfect there, and there's even a little bit of enough of the paint above it. This is
That's
so
great.
fun. I think I might do the gold on the edges, sponge on, you think?
Yep. Yeah. Paul John says, can I use apple barrel paints? Absolutely. Yeah, really, whatever paints you have works. Not just for this technique, but really whatever kind of painting you're doing. If you're painting for yourself and you craft paints, they'll last a while. Sometimes if you're selling your work, then you want to use a higher end paint because it lasts longer and like craft paints can crack over time as they dry out. But when you're just playing and having a good time, then use whatever you can get your hands on. So Sarah, how long have you been an art teacher? How long have you been creating?
Oh gosh, my whole life.
Yeah.
I taught myself how to draw in first grade. I remember getting the funnies, we used to call them, the comics.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every Sunday, my mom and dad would save me the paper, and I saved all the Peanuts, the Charlie Brown, the one little square, and I would practice those all the time. I could draw. Now I couldn't draw them. I'd have to practice again. But I remember all my little friends would have me make them little Charlie, and it's kind of cool because Charles Schultz is a Minnesota native
Oh,
who
wow.
invented, yeah. So that was kind of a fun thing. But I just loved the Peanuts gang, and I would do that. But this is my
Getting
this is my
impatient.
34th year of teaching.
Wow.
I
No
know, isn't
way.
it crazy?
That's
I
amazing.
feel like, where did my life go? I can't believe it's this far into it. But my oldest, she just turned 38. So that puts things into perspective. And I have two grand boys, and I actually have a fun project planned for them. You would probably like this. I'll have to show you what we're going to work on. They are both, well, one of them's a snowboarder and one is a skier, but they're both skateboarders.
Hmm.
And so I was able to land some pretty great blanks on Amazon, some maple blanks,
Okay.
skateboard decks. So we are going to do some like paintings for their bedrooms, some kind of graffiti paint or whatever style they want. So
Very cool.
those have been sitting here for a couple of weeks. I can't wait to, they get to the age where they're so busy and it's hard to plan sometimes, but I need to get them here. When they're here on the weekend, they go skiing and then they're just ready to eat and crash. So
Mm-hmm.
we live about 20 minutes from two different ski hills. So my hubby usually, and they live about a half hour from us, and we're north of them. So usually on his way home from the city, he'll swing by and pick them up on the weekend one day. And okay, I had to lower the west and the east just because of the north arrow. I still like that arrow over there, though. I
Yeah.
like the off-centerness of it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh,
Cool.
thank you for that great stencil.
In mine, I got a little antsy and I wanted to try and paint more before it was really dry. So it kind of all started peeling off when I laid my stencil down. So I've got to be patient.
Right. I had a few spots too that I picked up. Some of the paint wasn't quite dry in the back. But
Yeah.
that happens all the time because I get in a rush and I just want to keep rolling with it instead of
Yeah.
waiting. So
Yeah.
nothing new for me. How long have you been creating, Heather? And do you have like I don't want to call it a creation story, but some people do have one when they realize that this is just a great thing for them, creating.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been a creative person too, and I've always loved making things and painting things. But I kind of lost touch with it as I got older and kind of got out of high school and went to school and just did the grown up kind of things of getting a job and but then once I had kids, I got back into it. Like they really inspired me to.
That
be
is the best
creative.
thing, is having toddlers and
Yeah.
preschoolers around to get your brain back into creating.
Yeah, yeah. They really enjoy, like whenever we would have time at home where we would be getting out paints and craft supplies or whatever. They would just have so much fun.
Oh, I love that.
It really inspired me to get back into it again.
Yeah, I feel like when we're kind of starting to launch our career and get rolling, except that I was in education and I was in art education. So I don't feel like I ever really left it, but there have definitely been times in my life where there wasn't time for my own creating. It was mainly on doing, paintings and projects for school, for teaching.
Yeah.
And it isn't the same thing as just creating what you want to create for yourself. It is a different kind of creation, even though you may be involved with it. It's a little more, for me, it was a little more energy draining because it wasn't really maybe what I was inspired to do, but it had to be with the state standards and where kids were at, and then me trying to solve how I can tie in their creativity into something that's required for us to teach. That's always kind of the challenge.
Yep.
I've now gone to I don't want to say it's new, it's been around for probably 25 years. It's called the TAB approach, teaching for artistic behavior. I absolutely love it, except COVID did us in. But it's where you really create a space that The student is the art room, or the student is the artist, and the art studio is the student's space to create. And my job is to create, make sure and have tools and materials and show them different kinds of techniques and then let them create. And not so much about this project that has to have this, this, and this,
Yeah.
but that they create pieces that they're able to share and talk about and that they want to run into the art room and work on. So, and that's been a little bit hard because of the lack of materials a lot of kids have at home. So we've gone to doing a lot in our sketchbooks, and tying our own story into our art is huge too. For me and in TAB, I think that's a big thing, is helping students have another way to share their life through their visual art and making connections with it to their life. That it isn't this separate thing, but it can be integrated into your life. So
Yeah, that's so great.
well, this is super fun. I'm loving this. And I'm talking like a middle school student, which I pretty much find myself doing all the time. Look, I kind of added I put the
Yeah.
edges and I drug
Yeah.
it a little on the front. I love this.
That's fantastic.
So I don't know.
Yep.
Go ahead. Well, let me
Oh,
look
and
at
then
the
I've
big
been
screen.
using wish my light, I can't figure out my light deal here because it looks really bright and I don't think you can see unless I get the right angle. Here we go. I use mine as a stamp, so I just kind of used a big paintbrush and stamped on
Oh, cool.
the north, southeast. I'm going to work on the west next. I think I'll put like maybe the arrow or something in the middle, or
Yeah, and it looks very, how can I say it? It looks to me almost like this sort of a galaxy. Do you see with the paint flowing around it? The atmospheric is the word I'm looking for. Looks very atmospheric.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, do you see that or not?
yeah, totally.
Because that it's kind of ooh in and out there with your warm and your cool there. I love it. And they're soft enough, almost cloudy, puffy.
Yeah, yep.
Fun,
You just kind of melt into one another. It's really cool.
right? Oh, I have to make sure and clean this with a baby wipe. Is that what you use on yours?
No, I usually just let them go.
Yeah, I try and wipe them off with a baby wipe. But of course, I don't have a pack sitting here. They're in the other room.
Yeah, my
So,
baby wipe.
I'll go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just keep reusing them and you don't worry about cleaning them?
I mean, unless I get like a ton of paint and it kind of gets into if it's like a smaller stencil and
Sure.
like the paint would get in the way of me using it next time, but for it to look like this with just paint, it just,
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it then.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, and when I was doing, I'm not doing live parties now yet, paint events. But when
Yeah.
I do those, I try and have them clean for that and clean them right after, because otherwise, some of that thick acrylic when you're doing those big signs like the porch leaners can make it really hard to get that next layer of paint. But these are just for me. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I wipe them off, but I don't worry about they get stained with the paint.
Right?
I mean, I do try to wipe them off, but I don't worry about it looking brand new again. Kimberly asked, Kimberly says, I paint on canvases. And she said, did you prepare the paper with a gesso? I did not. I just went straight in with the paints. Yeah.
I suppose the gesso would just give you a little bit thicker, smoother surface, maybe. Although mixed media paper is made to take on all kinds of wet mediums. So
yeah, this paper is great. It's nice and thick. It does have some texture on it. So if you did want a smoother look to your painting, then you could go ahead in and do some gesso, maybe with like a palette knife to get a smooth surface. But yeah, I just went straight in.
So I think I'm going to do the back probably with the same color palette. Front is dry already, so I'm just going to use my same old bag, upcycle it again. And my khaki I had a little bit of gray in there, so I did have two cool colors and two warm.
So Kimberly, I'm going to add your name. Put it in our jar for our drawing later for our stencil. And Paul John, your name's going in. Okay. So when you think about your own personal painting, I know you do a lot when it comes to teaching and preparing for students, Sarah, but when you think about your own painting, what are the things that inspire you? Like kind of things.
What inspires me?
Yeah.
Well, last year I was in this hiking challenge. And of course, you live in the glorious hiking country, and we're not too bad here, but we have to go. We've been hiking sections of the Lake Superior hiking trail up by Duluth that goes along Lake Superior. Mm-hmm. So I like to bring a sketchbook. I like to bring a little tangling with, and it isn't always about creating something that is a subject that I can see. A lot of times it's like this. This is more about my relaxation. So a lot of it's about the process. So I've started bringing these canvases in when we go hiking, and I usually don't get to do this till we're sitting around the fire at supper or in the afternoon or morning coffee. You can see I'm not quite done with this. And to just sit and relax, I just get inspired by being outside and different outdoor activities, I guess, that we do. I like to just have my art be part of being there, not necessarily about it, although it can be about it. Mm-hmm. This is a mountainscape with the tangles and watercolor on canvas from, it's not for many, obviously it's stylized, but it's something that I can work on while we're on the road. And mm-hmm. The other thing I like to do is I'm big on gifts of art, and they don't have to be huge things. And I'm really trying to encourage my students. And I did make it an assignment last semester. Just one piece of art to think about who would appreciate it in your life. And it might be your mom or your grandma or your uncle or whoever. But gifts of art are just such pure gifts from the heart, I think. And I really love to, when we're traveling, I buy watercolor postcards. And then I'll just sit and usually I'll start with the Sharpie, and then I'll go in and watercolor. I'll watercolor first and finish it with the Sharpie. And I can usually get one done a day if we have some time to sit down. And then I usually will just send that off to somebody so they get this little mail art. That's more like my personal art, I guess. And I'm inspired by just being in a new environment and being excited about being outside and the outdoors, being on a road trip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Well, I have to say, you inspired me to share some art. You did something a little bit back where you created a painting and then you shared it for someone's birthday.
Oh, yes. It's kind of like a little mini electronic gift of art for their birthday.
Yeah. So I did that. I painted a little cupcake, and I've been sending it out to friends when their birthdays pop up around the year. So,
right.
Yeah.
And not that the memes aren't nice things. It's just nice when anybody thinks about your birthday, but it's so fun for me to send that like piece of personal art to them. And I've used the same one. I've got to get a few more of them going. But it really is, people really appreciate it because they know, I don't know, the people I've sent it to know that I've created it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's a simple thing. It doesn't take, you've already made it. You just have to photograph it and put it right into your birthday list.
Yeah.
Got my back done. Yeah. And those are really what I've done for my students at school too. Our little portraits we're working on now with my sixth graders, they're mini-me's. They're 3 inches by 4 inches. So they're about the size of a baseball card. So they're manageable and we can get them finished. And then the students actually leave them at school, and we have a huge wall, and it goes back to 2016 or 15 from when I started in art at that school. Now we have this huge wall of all these mini me's. And so the sixth graders will come back after some of them have just gotten out of high school now, and they'll come back. And if they're visiting the school, they'll come down and visit and look to find their face. But what I have the parents do when they come in at conferences is to take a photo of that. And I encourage them, I said, take pictures of your kids' art and use it for your screensavers. It's such a great way to honor their art. You don't have to buy a frame. You don't have to hang it up. You don't have to mess around with thinking you'll do that and you don't have time. Put it on your screensaver. Put it on your computer at work. You can see a little bit of them every day.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways I love to promote parents acknowledging their kids' creations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's nothing like that feeling of, someone else appreciating your art and
the inverse of that would be the stories I've heard as an art teacher over the years from adults, the not appreciating it and how their heart was wounded, like when they were really young, and it's ruined art for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know grown men like that. I know almost everyone who doesn't, they'll say, oh no, I'm not an artist. They have a story that somebody told them, a teacher told them the sky has to be blue or you can't have a purple tree. And it wounded them at such a deep level. I don't think we realize how, I don't know what the word is, how connected to our spirit our art making is, maybe. Especially with children, it is such an internal free thing. And when somebody, and even if they're not, I never ask anybody what is it, or any students, I'll say, oh, tell me about this part. I let them speak their art to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes even with some kids, if you ask, that is already seen as they don't recognize what it is. So there's all this language that working with children, and adults who are fragile about art because of how their art was viewed.
Yeah.
And my dad has a story about his sister. He had worked on this painting and he was like a first grader. And he was coming home. They were walking home from school, and I think his sister was like a fourth or a fifth grader older than him. And he said, I'm going to give this to mom and dad tonight. I'm going to put it on the supper table. And he pulled it out and she just ridiculed him. And he said he was heartbroken. And he said he never, ever pursued anything with art after that. And he had the most beautiful font for his writing and his printing. So I know he's got artistic bones, but it was just like that. It just was done. And so many people have flipped that switch off.
Yeah.
So I get excited about helping people realize that it's just practice, and we all have an artist in us, and it just takes time. And just obviously some people are more bent towards it than others, just like some people are more athletic or some people are more musical. Doesn't mean we can't have art for life enjoyment, or I can't play a game of softball with my kids, even though I'm a terrible athlete. It still can be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to grow up and be a professional athlete, but I'm still going to enjoy the sport. So I think we have to bring people around to art that way yet. There's still this thing that art is reserved for only everybody knows who the good artists are in each class too. They figured that out in elementary school.
Yeah.
You can see I have a few little soapboxes. That's kind of one of them. That's my mission in life, is to help people, kids and adults who have not found the joy in creating, at least experience a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this one's really getting aged looking. That's the back. Here's the front.
So you were just kind of dabbing it on, like
yeah. I used the sponge and I just kind of drug it on the edges.
Yeah.
I do like that copper look. I'm wondering, what do you think I should use? What should I put on it up here? Should I use just some jute, or what would you do? I mean, it could be left plain like this too, but it could also be.
Yeah, that'd be fun to hang it.
Hang it somewhere, yeah. Some people were using these for like tree ornaments, I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Last winter I saw on some pages.
Yeah, that's great. I kind of was adding a little bit more on my compass.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, my
Can you-
my iPad's delayed to my phone, and so I'm gonna have to wait till I can. Oh, there it is.
I don't know.
See, I love your font. It looks like that font of this is almost like a typewriter font, which gives me just a little bit of a vintage feel to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. I like the looks of it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, this has been so fun.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. It was a blast to have a creative problem to play around with. I don't
Yeah.
want to say a creative problem to solve, but a creative challenge to have, because it isn't a problem at all. I love doing it, no problem. It's just, what do I get to do with it?
Yeah. Thanks for being open to playing and to not
Oh.
knowing and to getting surprised about what you could be doing. That was super fun. And so where can people find out more about you and what you're doing?
I
Because you've
am
got some
at,
awesome things going on.
yeah, my it's kind of tricky because my writing's a little my first name of my business is a little hard to remember. It's Art Ventures instead of Adventure. It's Art Ventures with an S, one word, and then Minnesota. Art Ventures Minnesota. And I could put it down in, oh, I suppose I can't put it in the chat.
Is it it's at Art Ventures MN like you have it on your ID,
Yeah,
right?
so if you go up to Facebook to look for it, but if you just Google it by name, it's Art Ventures Minnesota, but it's www.facebook.com/Art Ventures MN /. Otherwise, that would be a lot to keyboard out. So I went with the MN, just like my email is like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And say Tuesday nights and Thursday nights are my Tangle live nights. And so I just go on my page. Can I show them quick in case anyone's interested? And tangling is kind of my fun way of relaxing and playing and doodling, a little organized, but we do a lot of fun things with doodling and tangling. And as a teacher, I've been teaching my students how to shade and all of that. So I've been working with gals who come on live, and we've been doing tangles. And so we do one tangle. I teach them one pattern inside of this little template on a Tuesday or Thursday night. And it's 8 p.m. Central. So that's going to be like 9 your time, I think. Are you an hour later?
I'm an hour behind.
Yeah. So that'll be 9 your time. But I used to go early, and I'm finding a lot more gals have time later in the evening than earlier. So, and we have a blast. We get on and we just laugh and hoot, and it's been fun to get to know a lot of people. A year ago, I never would have thought I would have friends. Like I've met you and I feel like we're friends, Heather. I mean, don't you? And we've never met in person, but just for our common passion about creating, you get to know each other. And it's really been fun to have these creative people. And all during COVID, I didn't have to leave my house. I didn't have to go. I could be here and still have those social and art kind of creative needs met. So you're welcome to come any Tuesday or Thursday night live on my page, Art Ventures Minnesota. Okay?
Yeah, that's
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for playing along. And let me know, everybody, if you enjoyed this. And I have a blast painting with my friends. If you want to see more of my friends painting with me live, let me know in the comments.
Hey, guys, I'll be there in a minute. Do you do this on a regular schedule, or are you kind of filling it in when people are available? Or
so I've had guest artists come on every Thursday for the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
Kind of for the month of, February.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been super fun and just getting to play and do some fun art and chat and hang out. And
it is like just hanging out in the studio together.
Yeah, it's awesome. Nancy says, thank you both. I feel like I've had special company for a while.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. It is fun. And even a lot of the gals that I don't get to see live, just like you when you're doing your lives, you just get to see their comments. I mean, they're coming regular and I recognize their name and I only know them through comments, but I feel like I know them just because of their language. And so it's been fun. Well, thank you so much, Heather. You have an awesome ski meet or something, right? You're going up to the hills here shortly.
Gotta get my girl to Nordic ski practice.
Awesome.
Skiing into.
Okay, you guys have a great time.
Yeah.
And do I leave before you?
I'll just end it for both of us, for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hold this
Sarah.
up. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.